Hi, I'm Caspian from Strumtree, and today I'm going to show you 4 ways of playing the F chord so that you'll always be prepared when it comes up in a song. Before we look at the 4 different ways of playing the F chord, we're going to look at the context it appears in the song that we want to play it in. Because whatever chord you're learning to play, it's good to know where you're changing from and where you have to change to afterwards. That way you can practice it in the context of a song. So let's have a look at the bridge of Country Roads as our example. And driving down the road, I get a feeling. We've got the E minor, F, and then C chord. So the first and easiest version of the F chord that we're going to look at is actually the F major 7 chord. This works as a great substitute for the F chord when you're starting out. So we just need 3 fingers, our index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, then we sort of staircase our way up with our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the D string. Now, with the open F chords that we're looking at, it's important that you skip the top 2 strings, the first 2 strings, the E and the A string, and just strum from the D string down, the bottom 4 strings. You should get a nice, clear sounding F major 7 chord like that. This is our 3-fingered one, and I'll leave a diagram in the corner up here as well. So let's try it in the context of Country Roads. Driving down the road, I get a feeling. Let's try that all together one more time, starting on E minor. We'll do 4 strums of each. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And driving down the F road, so we use the F major 7 chord then. The second version of the F chord that we'll look at uses the same 3 fingers, except we're going to cover the 1st fret of the E string. So to try that out, use your index finger to cover the 1st fret of 2 strings at once. That's the E string and the B string, like this. And just try plucking those 2 strings with your thumb like that. You're going to need to squash these 2 at the same time. Then with your other 2 fingers, staircase your way up in the same way. And again, we're just strumming the bottom 4 strings. This one's a little bit harder because it requires you to keep this finger flat. So it may take a bit of practice to get that stretch. Let's try that with Country Roads now. Driving down the F road, I get a, and then C, feeling. Now you'll notice with these 2 F chords we've looked at, to change from the F chord to the C, all we really have to do is move these 2 fingers up a string and make sure that this one is lifted off the E string as well. So you'll find that's a useful pivot to help you. Now the 3rd F chord we're going to look at is one of my favourites. This uses all 4 of our fingers now, but we don't need to squash 2 strings at once or anything like that. So it looks like this. We have our index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, then we've got our pinky on the 3rd fret of the D string, and our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. There's a few ways of doing this. If you strum the bottom 5 strings, you get another version of the F major 7 chord. But if you strum, and here's the interesting thing, the middle 4 strings, that's right, you're missing this one at the top and this one at the bottom. If you're just strumming the middle 4, you get a nice lovely version of the F chord. Now the reason this is one of my favourite shapes is you can actually hold this shape and move it anywhere on the fretboard and you can get a different major chord. So in the 1st fret, this is the F chord. If we move it up to the 2nd fret, we've got the F sharp chord. If we move it to the 3rd fret, we've got the G chord. That's right, this is another version of the G chord, and you can compare it because it sounds like this G chord. It's just a different voicing. So no matter where you move this up on the fretboard, you can move it up here, you get a different major chord. And I'm going to leave a list right over here of all the different major chords you can get from this shape based on what fret your index finger is holding this shape. So F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, and so on, all the way up the fretboard. Now the fourth and final F chord that we're going to look at in today's video is the bar chord. Now bar chords are a bit more difficult, so if you've never done them before, that's okay if it's a little bit stressful. And how this works is it's based off the E chord shape. So if you know the E chord, it looks like this. Now try playing the E chord with your ring finger and pinky and your middle finger so that your index finger is disposable. So once you can figure out how to play the E chord without your index finger, you're ready to learn the bar chord for F. All you have to do is slide these 3 fingers up 1 fret this way, and then use your index finger to cover all the strings at once in the 1st fret. And that's your F chord. It can be a little bit tricky to get it clear sounding in the beginning, so don't worry, and it's important to rest your hands as well. I go over bar chords in my intermediate player series, so you can check that out as well. Now we're going to try the bar chord in the context of the song, and I'm going to give you plenty of time to figure it out. In fact, you may want to have it ready before we even begin. Here we go. I'm going to go through E minor, F, and then C. 1, 2, 3, 4, and driving down the... Change the bar chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Road I get up. Then C. Feeling that and so on. And you can play the rest of the song. In Country Roads, the F chord only comes up once in the whole song. And there are plenty of other songs where it comes up very rarely. But it's good to know all 4 ways of doing the F chord. You're spoilt for choice, really. Again, you can do F major 7, that's the easy one. You can do the other 3-fingered F chord. You can try the middle 4 string shape like this. Or you can do the bar chord. And the great thing about bar chords like this shape is you can move it up anywhere up the fretboard and you get a different major chord as well. So in the 1st fret, that's F, 2nd fret F sharp, 3rd fret G. It's exactly the same. Now you notice between that bar chord and the other F shape, the only difference is I'm lifting up my index finger and putting it in just the 1st fret of the B string. So in this instance, we have F, the bar chord, but now I move my index finger to just the 1st fret of the B string, and we get that other F chord shape that we looked at. So hopefully now you've got a few ways of playing the F chord. Practice a few of the easier ones first before trying the harder ones, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.